All right, Chiefs Kingdom, it's that time of year again, NFL draft season. At guard. Either way, getting the best 5 linemen on the field is the goal, and Banks would be a top 5 guy instantly. Your turn, should the Chiefs draft. Banks? Now it's time for you to weigh in. If you think the Chiefs should draft Kelvin Banks Jr., type D for draft in the comments. If you'd rather pass on him, type P for pass. Let's see where Chiefs Kingdom stands on this pick. But what if Banks is already gone at 31? That's where Daniel Jeremiah's pick comes in, Josh Simmons from Ohio State. He's a different type of player, but could he be a better fit for Kansas City? Let's break it down. Now, what if Kelvin Banks isn't available when the Chiefs are on the clock at pick number 31? That's where Josh Simmons from Ohio State comes into play. According to Daniel Jeremiah, Simmons might be the perfect alternative for Kansas City. Who is Josh Simmons? Simmons began his career at San Diego State before transferring to Ohio State, where he became a third-team All-Big Ten selection in 2024. Despite his injury concerns and less-than-ideal size, Simmons has the traits the Chiefs could really use on their offensive line. His most impressive stat? Not allowing a single sack during the 2024 season, which is a huge plus when you're trying to protect Mahomes. He also has a strong pass-blocking grade of 82.0, a great number for a player at his stage. Strengths and weaknesses. Simmons is a fluid, quick mover for his size, with excellent play strength. His ability to move in space is impressive, and his strike ability and pass protection is strong. He doesn't get bullied easily, which is key when facing some of the fierce pass rushers in the NFL. However, he's not perfect. Simmons has dealt with some injuries in the past, which is something to monitor. He also had a run-blocking grade of 68.7, which is lower than ideal. Still, for a Chiefs team looking for a solid offensive line depth, he could be a solid option. How would he fit with the Chiefs? If Kansas City drafts Simmons, there's a possibility he could play guard or even compete for left tackle duties, similar to Banks. With Jalen Moore in the mix, Simmons could be a solid addition to the depth chart, especially given the Chiefs' ongoing search for the best 5 linemen to protect Mahomes. Your turn. Who do you prefer? Okay, Chiefs Kingdom, it's time to make your choice. Would you prefer Kelvin Banks Jr. or Josh Simmons for the Chiefs at number 31? Type KB for Kelvin Banks or JS for Josh Simmons in the comments, and let's see which one of these guys is the fan favorite. In either case, no matter who the Chiefs select, adding offensive line talent will be huge for the team's future. But how important is this pick really? How will it impact the team moving forward? Let's dive into that next. The selection of an offensive tackle in the first round is about more than just adding depth to the roster. It's about protecting the franchise, and that franchise is none other than Patrick Mahomes. No one in the NFL is as valuable as Mahomes, and ensuring he has elite protection is priority number 1. Strengthening Mahomes' protection. We all know Mahomes can work magic in the pocket, but even he can't work without time. The Chiefs' offensive line took a bit of a hit last season. While they were still among the better lines in the league, we saw some issues creep up, especially during the Super Bowl. Mahomes was pressured more than usual, and that's something the Chiefs can't afford to have happen again. A player like Kelvin Banks or Josh Simmons could immediately step in and provide the kind of stability this line desperately needs. Adding either of these guys would give the Chiefs options, either as a starting left tackle or as a player who could even shift inside to guard. Getting the best 5 linemen on the field would make a significant difference. The Chiefs' offensive style. Let's not forget, Kansas City runs an up-tempo, pass-heavy offense, which means Mahomes needs to be able to move freely in the pocket and have time to make those deep throws we all love to see. If they select a player like Banks or Simmons, it's going to directly impact Mahomes' ability to thrive in this offense. Protection isn't just about stopping sacks. It's about giving Mahomes the time and space to do what he does best, making magic happen downfield. Other team needs. Of course, Kansas City has other needs: defensive line depth, wide receiver depth, and a potential need at cornerback as well. But right now, with the offensive line potentially being one of the most critical issues, selecting an offensive tackle might be the smartest choice. The Chiefs can always fill those other holes later, but they can't risk losing Mahomes' protection again. This pick is all about building for the future and ensuring the Chiefs are set up for long-term success. Protect Mahomes, protect the future. And now, let's wrap up with your chance to have your say on what the best pick would be. As we wrap up today's video, let's take a moment to recap the two offensive tackle options that could change the future of the Kansas City Chiefs: Kelvin Banks Jr. and Josh Simmons. Banks, with his experience, awards, and impressive college stats, could be an instant star in the NFL, offering the Chiefs a tackle who could start right away. However, the question remains, will he even be available when the Chiefs pick? If he is, his talent could be a game changer. On the other hand, Josh Simmons is a solid option too. While not as polished as Banks, he brings versatility and the ability to make an immediate impact with his mobility and strength. Yes, there are injury concerns, but his ability to step in and compete for a spot on the line could make him a valuable asset. Your opinion matters. Now, it's your turn to weigh in, Chiefs Kingdom. Which of these two players do you think is the right fit for the Chiefs at number 31? Kelvin Banks or Josh Simmons? Leave your thoughts in the comments and let's get the conversation going. Your opinion matters just as much as anything else when it comes to the future of this team. If you enjoyed today's breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps us out, and it shows your support for great Chiefs content. And if you haven't already, subscribe to get more daily content on everything Kansas City Chiefs, draft news, trade updates, free agency talk, and much more. Thanks for tuning in to Total Chiefs News. We'll see you next time, and as always, go Chiefs.